You're listening to Creatively Geeky, the support group for your creative process.
Hello and welcome to the Creatively Geeky Show. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stephens. Tonight I'm joined by Kris, Ray, and Cyrus. How are y'all doing?
Oh man, I think I'm deaf. That was freaking loud. Holy crap.
What was freaking loud?
The music.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
What? No, I'm just kidding.
Can't hear you.
This is our first episode for 2025. I guess before we really get into it, just make a quick announcement. So we are making yet another change to the format for this show. We've been talking about doing this for a while now, and we're like, hey, it's a new year. Let's give it a shot. So we're going to keep the episodes like we have tonight, where we are discussing our goals, what we've been working on, because the start to the show was to kind of not really push each other, but just kind of keep accountability for projects that we're working on and stuff, so that we can set goals and be like, oh yeah, hey, I did, accomplish that, or oh, maybe I need to keep working on that. So we are going to keep these episodes. They are going to be every other episode as well, at least hopefully for the most part. But in our other episodes where we were kind of going through and just talking about what media and stuff we were doing, we're going to change that up. We're going to start interviewing people who are also creatives in different media areas, and just kind of talking to them about how they got started in it, what they're working on, what their creative process is, just to kind of get some more information and reach out to some other people. So our first guest for February is my sister-in-law, Amber Palmer. She is an author, and she's got a new book coming out next month. So hopefully we can help boost that a little bit. And then, like I said, we'll have an episode like this in March. And then in February, I have a friend, Travis Williams, who's going to be doing a movie, and we're going to be interviewing him. So
April.
I'm sorry. What did I say?
February.
Sorry, I ran back over it again. In April. In April, we're going to be
busy February.
It's going to be busy February. We're going to loop back around. Anyway, so yes, we'll be interviewing him about his new indie movie that's coming out. So, and then as we lock down more people throughout the year, we'll make sure we announce, when we're going to be talking to those people and what it is, we want to discuss with them. So, so far we have an author, we have an indie filmmaker. We all know people in different areas, whether it be, working stuff digitally, working stuff with their hands, writing, whatever it is. And, we just want to kind of start reaching out to those people and get them on the show and, kind of pick their brains a little bit. So
I'm hoping I know a few tattoo artists, and I'm really hoping that one will join us.
That would be fun.
But I think that would be kind of a cool one.
Yeah, that would be fun. So, all right. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at what we were hopefully working on. Would anyone like to go first?
I'll go.
All right, Kris. I had down for you. You were going to get rid of Christmas decorations for Yule.
Yes.
Meal prep, freeze drying food, and working on writing again a little bit.
Yes. So I did do the decorations.
Okay.
I took everything down, and
Sure.
I donated all of our Christmas decorations that I don't use anymore and won't be.
Okay.
Like tote full of them that we didn't even buy them. We were just sort of given them because other people were getting rid of stuff, and we were young and poor, and we're like, okay, great, thank you. And then they've just kind of stayed with us throughout all these years. And yeah, so those got donated. Meal prepping, not the freeze drying part, although I did discover at our local dollar store, they have these packaged freeze dried fruits. Oh my God, they're so good.
Okay.
It's just fruit. Anyways, sidebar. But December was a bit of it threw everything off. I love my daughter very much, but having her home for a whole month, just like my routine right out the window. So
It really did.
It really did.
Like-
And then there was a week where I also wasn't feeling great. And then we only took her back on the 6th this month. So she's only been at school for 2 weeks. So, but her being home for a month, I loved it. But like, what routine? I didn't have one.
It fucked with you.
So much. And I didn't think it would. But so the writing component didn't happen. However, I did figure out a name for my main character in one of my stories that I haven't been able to figure out in over 10 years. And that's
Wow.
the sticking point for me for this particular story is just like her name keeps her name keeps changing, and it made that story harder to write because I'm like,
It's not her.
It's not her. No, that's not her name. No, that's not her name. And then finally, sort of just, I saw a picture on Instagram with a name, and I'm just like, well, that's her name. Oh, that's her name.
Her name's Wayne.
No,
Oh.
but it's the same letters, I think. So she has a name, first and last name. That's her name. So I feel like, okay, I have a good start with that now. And
Well, good.
yeah, so that's good. But again, and then there's been a lot of snow days. So
Yeah.
Quinn's been home a lot. And then he's been sick, so he's been working from home a
Yes.
lot. We were on vacation, so it's like
Yes.
I just haven't.
Oh, God,
Again, what routine?
Mhm.
Routine. So I'm hopeful that I honestly didn't think Logan would throw things off that much. I'd be like, no, it'll be fine. She hasn't been gone that long. No, thrown off so
So
much.
what was it? Was it just like she wanted to go do things, or just
She shut her brain off when she was here. She did not. I don't know. I think I missed her presence more than I knew. So when she was here, it was like, oh my God, we're spending all of our time together.
But they were both like that.
Yeah, we were both like that.
So it was good, but
but like neither of us did shit because she had big plans too. If you would have talked to her like the week before we picked her up, she's like, I'm gonna do this.
the first day she was here, she was like, okay, I'm just gonna take today, and then I'm gonna do this and this and this and this.
And then it was like, one more day. Okay, and you know what? A week. We'll call it a week. Give myself a break. I got 3 more weeks.
So it was
Love it.
like a week and a half into it. I looked at her. I'm like, so what were all those things that you were gonna do? I said, I'm not trying to put pressure on you. I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I gave up.
So both of us.
Okay.
Well, and we wound up having an extra Christmas, one more Christmas than we planned here, which was wonderful and great. It was totally fine. So there was that, a little bit of a monkey wrench too. But it was, I did not realize that was good. So when she comes home for reading week in February, nothing's getting done. Nothing's getting done. I'm not even gonna
not even try?
I'm not even gonna plan anything. Nothing's getting done when she's at home. And then so there's been a lot of snow days. Quinn's probably gonna have another snow day tomorrow. They had a snow day today. They had a snow day on Monday, I think.
Yeah.
Last week they had 2 or 3 snow days. It's the end of the semester is next week.
Mhm.
So, and then they start their second semester in February, but like they haven't been at school. So that kind of throws everything off. Working from home throws everything off because he's been sick, so he hasn't gone in. And yeah. Apparently I get thrown off very easily.
As soon as one person is
As
here,
soon as
she's
one
not
person's
expecting
home, it
it.
all gets derailed.
Well, I have to spend my time with them
I've
now.
got to sit with them now.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're spending time together. So
Squirrels everywhere.
So tomorrow, not even tomorrow, because you're gonna be at work. Maybe, I don't know. They might close the highways. You saw the picture Sean was posting.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. The highway could be shut down. I have no idea. And then global warming, but climate change. Louisiana got snow. Did you get snow?
Okay, so I didn't get any. Like we had Monday off for Martin Luther King Day, and then we were off yesterday because I will say we definitely could have gone. Like there was not any real problems with the ground or ice or anything like that. But I do appreciate our more modern administrations have been very much, let's call it the night before.
Yeah.
If we're wrong, oh well, we've got time built in. We'll figure it out. We'll make it up one way or the other. Just because, like, I remember growing up having to get up at like the butt crack of dawn and find out, are you going to school or not? And, you know, as a kid, that's exciting. But as an adult, that's like, can you please call this so I can figure out what I've got to do with my kid? Because like, you know, if they can stay home, whatever, it's fine. But if you've got a smaller kid, then it's like, all right, I got to find someone to keep the kid. How am I going to get them there? Am I just going to have to take off today? Now I'm calling in just an hour before I have to go to work. You know, it causes a bunch of problems. But no, I got a little bit of a flurry, but that's about it. Houston got like 2 inches, 3 inches, which is the most. Some of those, they actually were doing a story tonight. Some of those kids that they were, you know, showing sliding down and stuff like that. Like, this is the first time I've ever seen snow in my life, which is crazy. But Florida got like 7 inches.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
I know, we were just there last week and the week before that, and it was cold. Like, there was a day, again, I can't convert this in my head. It was single digit Celsius for us, like in the mornings, and then it would warm up. I think the coldest day was like 11 degrees Celsius. And it was cold for us. Like, I had mitts on. I prepared for that, but like the rest of the time it was really warm. But Cyrus, Dallas is north of you?
Yes.
That can make a difference, because I know Sean lives an hour north of us, and that can make all the difference. Did you get snow, or did it get cold?
Texas is so big that this whole thing is crazy. Like,
okay.
Last week we got a little bit of snow and ice, and this week
we got nothing.
We got zilch. We got nothing. We just got cold. That's all we got, cold. And that sucks. But yeah, Houston. I have my boss lives on Galveston Island, and she sent us pictures. She got about 3.5, 4 inches of snow.
Okay.
On Galveston Island, which is in the Bay, which is in the Gulf.
So crazy.
The Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like how is that possible?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
Okay.
Climate change.
Well, what's so crazy is normally when it happens like that, like, you know, of course we refer to it as snowvid. Like, when that happens, like, it's always coming from the north. So it's always, the further north you go, the worse it gets. So, like, you know, if Cy's getting hammered, then we're like, yeah, we got a little bit, or it was, you know, maybe some freezing or whatever. But then, like, you go, you know, an hour or so, you know, south to Austin or San Antonio, they would be like, they can get shit here. Hell, it's even warm down here. And it's been literally just the opposite. Yeah, like, it's the further south you go, the worse it gets.
Yeah, Lou's always bragging, like, every time we get snow or ice, he's like, oh, it's like 80 degrees. We're having a good time. We're having t-shirts. And that's not the case right now.
No, it is not. So
interesting.
Yeah, that it has been really weird to see that the further you go south, the worse it gets.
The worse it gets.
So that's it's kind of like here, right, where it really depends on the wind direction.
Yeah.
Normally we're okay. Further north from us will usually get hit pretty hard. Once in a while, if it comes from the northwest, if it just comes in the right way, we'll get hit, and north will be fine. So yeah, it's just odd how it happens.
We get all that lake effect stuff because we're right on the lake. And then the further north you get, you're sort of sandwiched in between a lake and a bay.
Yeah.
So where my sister lives, she gets both. She gets hammered.
So if it's north, if it's a northwest, a north, or a northeast wind, she's getting snow.
We like to talk about weather as Canadians. It's really, we enjoy it.
It takes our lives.
It does. So we enjoy it.
We're about to annex y'all, so it'll be something we talk about together from now on.
I had talked to, who did I talk to about this? I was like, you guys can have Alberta. We'll take Washington, Oregon, and California. Y'all can have Alberta. They want to go anyways. Alberta wants to go.
I don't know if you want California right now. Like,
I know someone's on fire.
Well, it's kind of crispy right now.
A little crunchy.
We'll keep sending the planes. We're trying our best.
I've been saying we should give Florida to Cuba just to say sorry for everything that's been happening. Like I've been wanting to get rid of Florida for the longest freaking time, but anyway. The other thing I was going to ask you about. So yeah, I get the whole getting Christmas decorations from other people as time goes by. I mean, some of the things, like I've got a few things that like I've gotten from like my mom, or Chrissy's got like from, her grandparents or whatever. But yeah, there's been things that's been like, someone's like, yeah, I don't really want this anymore. I was like, well, it's perfectly fine. It's cute, Chrissy. So Chrissy will pick it up. So yeah, I know for a fact we've got things that, we've just kind of picked up over time. And I guess as time goes by, it may be like, where did we get this from?
Yeah.
Why do we have this even? So, but like she's got in the last couple of years, she's really gotten into Christmas trees. So like there's Christmas trees everywhere. So
Logan has one in her bedroom all year round.
All year round, she's got one. It's currently up right now. And the only reason it's not at her dorm is because she doesn't have the space for it. If she had the space for it, it would be there.
It'd be over there. That's funny.
Yeah,
it would have been there.
She just loves it very much. But yeah, for us, it was, here, would you like this? It's like, okay, it's cute. We like it. Sure, whatever. We didn't have any particular feelings about Christmas. It was just something that you decorated for. We just did it. And then, the last couple of years, it's like, I noticed I didn't put any of it out. So I'm like, why do I still have it? And
yeah.
It's the same with
this year when we were putting up the Christmas tree, I told Chrissy, I was like, I don't know if you noticed or not, but when we were putting up decorations, I'm like, I didn't put up any of my Star Wars stuff. I'm like, our tree is just too full. It's got too much stuff. I'm like, so like the cheap, just like very generic balls that you would put on a tree. I'm like, can we get rid of these? Because like it's not like we have any emotional attachment to them. I'm like, and it would free up quite a few spaces that I could at least put some of the ornaments up. So I think we're gonna have to start going through and weeding out some stuff that's like, well, we had it and it was okay, but we've kind of moved on. And
your taste changed. And like I this year I only put up ornaments that were handmade, like the kids had made, and then ones that we were given as presents. And so the other ones I'm gonna, like, I have two boxes of like one that's just blue ornament balls and one that's silver, and I'm like, I'll get rid of those next year. And people love it. Like you donate them to the Goodwill or the Restore. And people pick them right up. They're not gonna go to waste.
Ray, you want to go next?
Sure.
All right, you had continued drawing and clothes shop for winter.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So,
for you,
the clothes shopping did not intentionally.
No,
not the way it happened.
It's a happy surprise.
It's a very happy surprise. So, and I don't even. I feel bad. I don't have a lot of it to show, but that's okay.
You've worn it.
Well, no, it's all upstairs. Anyway, I'll start with the drawing. So the drawing, I have missed quite a few drawing sessions.
You were going to go today, but it got canceled.
It got canceled because of weather today. It's been canceled because of weather in December a couple of times. The other times, just they have dates that I couldn't make it because other things were happening. So I haven't done a lot of drawing sessions. But we went down to Universal Studios in just a couple weeks ago.
We got back last week.
We got back
yesterday.
A week ago.
Yeah, got back.
So fun thing there is that there's actually a couple of it was creative in the way of like I enjoy clothes shopping, and I enjoy as long as there's something that is there that fits. And I found stuff that fits. So one of them I'm actually wearing now is an Epic Universe sweater and
long sleeve
tee, and it's kind of different colors and stuff like that. So this is and it fits. I'm like, okay, cool. Then I picked up another one of these. That's an Iron Man. It's a classic Iron Man, so it's got like the chest piece where it doesn't glow, but it is, I don't know, it's sparkly.
And not glittery, but
like a gold flex type thing. And it's all red, but it fades to white, which is kind of cool too. I got a really nice Marvel shirt. I got a Hard Rock sweater. And I got a Universal t-shirt as well. And I was just really excited because they all fit.
I'm so excited. You had to go to all these different, every single store that had clothing, we had to go in because for the first time in a very long time, there was a good chance there was going to be something in there that fit.
Yeah.
Because he's tall and has a tall back. all the shirts usually are too short.
Yeah, they'll be wide enough. They'll fit, or they'll be even too wide.
Yeah,
but not long enough.
Not long enough. Yeah.
And these ones are long enough. I'm like, hell yeah, I was. So I now have a new.
Kind of new wardrobe.
a little bit of a new wardrobe, as well as a new store to go shopping for my geeky shirts. Because
he's like, I can shop online.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. So it was kind of fun. But the other fun thing too was I picked this up on purpose because I thought it'd be good for my drawing nights to go take all my drawing sessions and stuff. And so it's a sling backpack, crossbody bag.
Okay, yeah.
But so that's going to be my art bag now, and I used that at the parks the whole time. It was fantastic.
It was pretty good. It holds a lot of stuff.
It does. It holds a lot of stuff. There's a tradition creatively again that Kris and I do whenever we see one of these things, and we found it at Universal. So we did our.
Aww.
Yeah, we've been doing that since my 18th birthday.
Yeah. And then a new tradition as well, and I know I posted this for some of you, but we enjoy the caricatures.
Yes.
And it kind of pissed me off a little bit. As we were sitting there and getting our picture done, I heard some guy scoff at the price. It was $20 a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but $20 a person and you're getting a custom piece of art for, that's not a bad price.
No.
Yeah.
And so, take it for what it is. But anyway, so we got one of those done too. Told her it was our 20th anniversary, and so
Nice.
we got that. It's going to go up on the wall as well, and I enjoy that new tradition as well because I have one from when I was a kid.
Yeah,
my parents.
Oh, okay.
Parents took me down to Florida when I was a kid, and I still have it, and it's got to go up at some point
it's
too.
downstairs in the basement.
Yeah. So having that from that time that era, we have one of the kids when they were younger. Now also when they were all four of us, and now we have this one. So I think that's going to be another tradition that we're going to continue on with.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was really cute.
So here's my update. I'll have more things later.
Fair enough. Cyrus, you want me to go next? You want to go next?
I don't even. Yeah, I can go.
All right. The only thing the only thing you had on there was record stuff for projects.
Oh yeah. Okay, I did that.
See, you erased yourself. It's winter.
That's pretty much all I got to say. Like, I did videos and streams, and I need to get back to recording more of my voice stuff. But same thing. Yeah.
Is that still a go?
Yeah, he's rolled it out to everybody now, and it's two big projects. It's the new Watchmen thing, but also the book.
Nice.
Yeah, and that book is something. That's it's going to take a lot. But it's good. Yeah, I just haven't done it. It's been a couple of months actually since I've recorded any voice stuff. I just need to get back to it. It's a lot going on. But yeah, that's it. I got nothing else.
Fair enough. Let's see, what did I have? I don't even remember what I had on mine. Continue to play with Raspberry Pi. Yeah. Boy, have I done that.
Yes,
so I literally got on, like, I had to really get Cyrus's help. So I managed to get most of the stuff on there that I wanted to get on there. It's funny, I was doing a bunch of research, and a lot of things were like, oh, it's Raspberry Pi 3B. You can run the following things. All right, cool. So I'll start dumping stuff on there, and I'm having, most of it's working fairly well. And occasionally I'll run into an emulator that's like, it kind of works, but I'm trying to like find files and stuff. What I don't get on some of these things are, like I was looking for one particular file and I could not find the file, but I'm just like, it says it will run this one or this one. So I literally just opened up the file in a text editor, renamed it the different extension, saved it, put it in, and it worked fine. I'm just like, okay, I don't know why that had to be so hard, but whatever it was. But then I got down to, I was really kind of getting down to a certain thing. And I was kind of focused on, I'm like, I want to just mainly focus on US games, just because if you start opening up to Japanese games or European games or whatever, like the amount of games I have on this thing are already ridiculous. Like it's already like, oh, hey, I want to go play this on a Super Nintendo. It's just, it takes a few seconds to finally get to it because there's so many games on there now. But I was trying to get the TurboGrafx CD stuff on there. Now, I've never had a TurboGrafx 16. I've only ever played one a couple of times in my life. And I could not get the CD stuff to work. And everyone was like, well, it's the same emulator. It uses the same stuff. It really wasn't an advancement. It was just a different form of media to pull the information off of. And I was pulling what little hair I have out. I could not figure out why it would not work. And I was like, well, maybe it's the file format. So I was finding the files in a different format and trying putting those, and it still wouldn't work, and it still would not go through. And so I'm messaging back and forth with Cy, and I'm like, well, what about this? What about this? We're kind of going back and forth. And it got to the point I literally at one point just messaged him. I was like, so besides this one game, besides this one Castlevania game, is there anything else worth playing on TurboGrafx 16? Talk about hitting a hornet's nest, because apparently this is my boy's favorite console of all time. What do you mean? And just starts listing. There's all these games you need, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna give up. And so we worked back and forth or whatever, and
Basically,
it was funny because
hang on just a second. Basically, he like walked into my church and said there was no God. That's basically. He's like, so this Jesus guy, like, really? And I'm like,
what's funny is what ended up being the fix. For whatever reason, the BIOS files that I was using worked for the cartridge-based games, but it would not work for the CD games. I don't know why. It doesn't make any damn sense. But he even said, he's like, Eugene's like a hardware guy. He's a computer guy. Like, if I offer him up this as a solution, he's going to be like, yes, idiot. I know what I'm doing. You know, that would be like walking into my church and being like, you know,
exactly.
What is this water for? Can I wash my hands in this? Can I get some of that to drink to go? But he's like, what about this? What if it's the BIOS? And I was like, at this point, like I said, I'm pretty much just like, do I have to nuke this thing and completely start over? Is it something like that didn't, set up correctly or whatever? Copy the files over. Well, as I'm copying them over, I mean, we're talking about these files are tiny. They're itty bitty little files. But I noticed, I'm like, the one he sent me is like double the size of the other one. So it's maybe 20 megabytes instead of 10. Fired up a game, fired up no problem. I'm just like, well, that was it. I don't understand why the hell. He's like, where did you get them from? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know where I got the BIOS from. I don't know if it was standard that I downloaded it. I don't even remember at this point. But anyway, I got a bunch of games going. And just a side note on that. I just finished the second season of Castlevania Nocturne on Netflix. I literally watched the entire second season in one night. Like I really enjoyed it. I will say the reason why I enjoyed it so much, this is why I'm getting back to this, is because the second season of this Castlevania show, of Nocturne, is based off of, in the US, you would say it's based off of Dracula X. But if you have played the actual real game, it's based off a Japanese game, which didn't. When did they finally come out with a US translation, Si?
Okay, that's a good question. It wasn't officially translated into English until it was released on the PSP as a remake.
Okay.
And then that version was used as a basis for a bunch of homebrew translators who went back and added it to the original.
Yeah, because I knew it didn't come out originally here, and after playing that and playing, I need to go back and play Dracula X again. But after playing Rondo of Blood, they are not the same game. And it's funny because I had literally just beaten that game, and then like a week later, the second season of the show comes out. And so I watch it, and it is amazing how many references they make to it. Like, they do vastly change some stuff, but the amount of stuff, I'm just like, are they good? Oh, they pulled that. That's great. I freaking love the second season. I know I would have liked it anyway, but after playing the game, I really liked it. So anyway, just kind of as a side note on that. So anyway, I have had to go back, even though I added a couple of consoles on there. Apparently the Raspberry Pi is not quite strong. At least this version is not quite strong enough to run some things like the 3DO. But what's funny, like I was telling Cyrus, I was going through these games and I'm just like looking at it. First off, I was trying to weed out any games that were from overseas or whatever. But I'm going through and I'm just like, what kind of game is this? So I fire it up and I'm just like, oh, this is clearly softcore porn. Like,
Oh, that is not what I thought you were going to say.
That's what I figured.
but that's what it is.
Oh.
And I'm just like, okay, I guess at the time, I'm trying to think, this is 3DO. This is like late 90s. So yeah, people are still VHS and DVD. So yeah, I guess that's it. And I'm just like, I clearly do not need this on my Raspberry Pi. It kind of makes it so I can go, I can't really go here, let's go play a game that's on here, but not those. So,
not those ones.
Yeah, not those. Yeah, not those. And what's funny though is because even though it's a disc-based system, think about like if you played any games from that era that like had full motion video, how digitized it is, how pixelated it is. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So anyway, I've had a lot of fun playing with that thing. The other thing that I have done and I didn't put it on my to-do list was, pardon me, for Christmas I got a new desoldering gun. And I've been working on Xbox controllers because both of my boys have dropped multiple controllers and caused stick drift on them. And I went into this a little more in depth on the Epically Geeky show we just recorded. But yeah, desoldering a joystick on an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller, not fun. There are literally 65 steps to get to the point you get it completely pulled off and get the new one on there. But there are 14 solder points on each one of these joysticks.
Seems excessive.
14.
That sounds excessive. Is that?
It is. It's ridiculous. Okay. And so anyway, I fixed. This is one of the controllers I fixed. I fixed the stick drift on this one, and it worked just fine. It was great. Fixed the stick drift on one of my boys' controllers, and I took it into his bedroom. I was like, "Hey, bud, I got it fixed. Hook it up to your system. Make sure everything's working." He does, and he goes, "Dad's still doing it." I'm like, "What? There's no way." Like, I had my Xbox, I tested it, I recalibrated and everything. What do you mean? So we go through the calibration, and you hit up, and it shows up. You let it go, and it goes back to center. And I'm just like, "What do you mean? Why is it doing this?" So he goes back into the game, and sure enough, character keeps looking up, and I'm just like, looking at it, and I go, "Alex, which joystick do you use to look up?" "This one, the right one." "You motherfucker. You told me the left one." I could have ripped his head off and kicked it out the front door. I was so mad. So needless to say, I'll be replacing the faulty joystick on that one now. But yeah, so I'm going through and working on this, and it's funny. I was talking to some of the guys that I know that are also computer techs, and they're just like, "Oh, you should go through Best Buy's program. It's like $160, $180 a year, but if there's any problem with it, you just take it in." And I'm just like, well, I don't want to spend $180 for like if I had done it up front. But even then, I'm like, I couldn't tell. The last thing I bought, actually, no, did I buy anything? No, I haven't. I can't tell you the last time I bought anything from Best Buy. Like,
yeah,
I couldn't even tell you. So,
but $180 a year, like are you getting 2 controllers a year? And
exactly, like you at some point, it's yeah. But the other problem that I've run into is for some reason, some of the emulators, the Xbox controllers work just fine. But like the Neo Geo emulator, it does not like these Xbox controllers. So I've actually got a small 8BitDo controller that's like one of their first gen ones that came out with. They've got newer ones. They're bigger. They're cooler. They've got more functionality. I'm like, I'm just going to buy a couple of those and be done with it because I know for a fact those will work. Just as a side note, so me and Nick have been playing, going through the Metal Slug games on the Neo Geo, and we've beaten up to 3. I've never beaten these games before. Like, I've barely played them, like in the arcade or whatever. Boy, that storyline goes way off. It's really crazy. Do you know what I'm talking about, Cyrus?
Oh, yeah.
Like it starts off, it's this like weird neo, like kind of a mashup of like maybe Vietnam / fighting, like, and Desert Storm. And then there are aliens, and then there are monsters, and it just keeps getting weird. And like it's the whole time it's fun, just nothing else. And they'd be like, "What is that? What is going on here?" He's like, "I would love to talk to the developers and be like, what? Like seriously, what? What were you thinking? Were you smoking something?" Oh,
it's just historical, information.
oh yeah.
These things happen.
Mhm.
You never seen the History Channel? I mean,
When the aliens take the Saddam Hussein lookalike and
Yeah.
pull him up into the ship.
Yeah.
So,
right? You can't make this stuff up.
obviously. So we've decided we're going to go through and beat all 6 games at some point. So that'll be kind of fun. The other thing that he's gotten out of this is he's like, "Dad, how many quarters would you have had to put in for this?" And I'm just like, well, let's see. I continued like 30 times. You continued like 30 times. Each one's a quarter. I'm like, do the math, dude. Like, it would have been expensive.
Yeah. There is a game that I played a lot, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. It was something TV. And
Smash TV.
Smash TV. I love that game.
Oh yeah. But it destroyed your quarters, man.
Oh yeah. You have to pump a lot of quarters into that.
That's what they're designed to do. I mean, like it's funny because a couple of years ago there was like a big uproar in the gaming community about like pay to play and like microtransactions and stuff, and everybody was all up in arms and stuff. And I was like, do you guys not remember the arcades?
I never thought about it that way, but you're kind of right.
That's fair. I don't like it.
No.
Yeah, but that's what it was. I mean, it was pay to play. It was microtransactions. That's what it was. It was basically slot machines for kids.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Because Gauntlet was the same way. Jeez.
Dude, every Neo Geo game was like that. And the Ninja Turtle games were like that. And the absolute worst was towards the end of the arcade era when you were playing like the light gun shooters like House of the Dead and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because those was like $2 a pop every time. Like it was like it wasn't like a quarter. It was a bunch of money every time you had to put in money. And it was you'd be like way into the game and be like, damn it, I gotta spend another $20,
Yep.
Yeah. What was the one where you had a driver that was shooting and then you also had the passenger that was shooting? And you were cops or something?
Yeah.
A Virtua Cop, or are you talking about
No. It was the name was like it was something slick like Fast and Lucky or something like that.
Yeah. That's right.
And I remember, yes, because it's funny because the barcade here had that, and I actually talked Christy into playing that with me. I'm like, do you want to drive or do you just want to shoot? She's like, I want to do both. So literally you have a steering wheel and a gun, and then the other person's got the gun on the other side. So
it was so fun.
Yeah, I'll have to look that one up. I think that's what it's called, like Fast and Lucky or Lucky and Loose or something or another. So
something like that.
There's a play on words like that. So
Lucky on there for sure. That would be one arcade game that I would buy and try and restore. That would
be fun. Yeah,
that would be a good one to have. But
everybody has their dream arcade setup, and they have these little arcade one-up machines now that are maybe not that great. I think that era is kind of coming to an end, but we still have our dreams of having something. Everybody has a different arcade machine they would like to have, but there's at least one. Everybody has one that they dream about.
Actually, I still really want to build a really awesome MAME machine, like stand up, just because I'm trying to be practical and think about the amount of space. Because hell, I mean, even then, I'm just like, do I really like the Raspberry Pi takes up like that much room? Literally, it takes up that much room. And if I built an arcade system, now I'm eating up a space that's like the size of a fridge. So
you know what I always thought would be cool to do is like build an arcade into a wall. Like
yes,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
to where it
Yeah.
doesn't really take up any space. Like just there's like joysticks sticking out of a wall and a monitor. You know, what looks like an arcade, but it's like the wall. I don't know.
Could do
It's
it.
just the space though. It's like, because otherwise you're like really close to the screen and you're just like, I really could step back another.
you do a flip up.
Yeah, you could do that. So,
There's a way. There's a
oh, I'm sure there. I had a book at one point about how to build an arcade system. Like it went through the whole thing on how to do the routing and stuff to do the not quarter round, but like the plasticky stuff you put on the edge of the MDF and everything. Like it went through everything, and I was like, I'm gonna do it one day. One day I'm gonna do this. Yeah. So I wonder if I still have that book. I need to look and see if I still have that.
You do, I'll buy it off you.
There are plenty of YouTube channels that basically
know.
go through that. Like it's
I know.
so, and they're probably much better. They're just like, yeah, we used to do it this way. Just buy this. It's much easier.
Just,
So,
I will say, I will say though, if it's not practical, it's not, but you really want a CRT, you know, because those arcade games look so much better on a CRT.
They do.
Really do.
Yeah.
But it's just not practical. But that is awesome.
Yep. So, all right, let's go ahead because I already kind of talked about at the beginning of the show that how we're going to change the format. So let's go ahead and talk about any future projects. So we would be looking at March. Make sure I got my calendar right here. Would anyone like to go first? If y'all need a second to think, I can go first because I can.
I have one.
All right. What are you hoping to get done by March or within March?
So yesterday, Ray got an invitation.
Oh yeah.
The woman who does the life drawing section. So she runs the whole thing. She's throwing herself a birthday party, and she's throwing herself a ball. We got invited to a ball.
Okay, that's cool.
Wow.
Never been to one. It was so cool. So I have my Morticia Halloween costume, and I bought it secondhand. And I'm going to try to make it sort of goth princess-ish with a shit ton of black lace. So I'm not a very good sewer. I have rudimentary sewing skills at best, but there's a lot of no-sew stuff that I could do. And YouTube is a boon for stuff like that. So I want to try and find a pretty decent amount of black lace and try to make this into a like sort of, because even this is where the mind goes. The invitation was like, whatever makes you feel whimsical and whatever. And I immediately went to Morticia. I got to be goth. What makes me feel whimsical? I need to wear black. So that's what and it's the end of March is the ball. So I have until then to try and figure out how I'm going to do this. My sister, one of my sisters can kind of sew a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If I get stuck, I might ask her. She might laugh at me.
She will, but she'll help
for
you.
it. Be like, "What are you making?" And I don't know if she'd even be able to help me because her sewing kind of extends to pillows and rudimentary quilts and repairing her 3 boys' jeans.
You also have somebody who
you also like to do that, but like, do you want to make my dress?
I would.
I know you would, but I want to try. I have an idea of how I could do it, just the way the dress is. Because when I bought it, I think they put it in the wrong section. They put it in the dress section, and when I held it up, I'm like, okay. And then I tried it on. I'm like, oh, good Lord, this is like a JLo dress. This is very low cut, and it goes right up the thigh. And I'm like, I think this might have been like a
what size doing?
Exactly. When I looked in the mirror, this is not a dress that you should wear outside. So I wound up tacking it to make it a little bit more appropriate. But I took all of that out, and if I add black lace to it, like a nice very detailed black lace, it would look very, very gothic and princess gothic. So I think I'm going to try that. And so I have till March to do that because that's when the actual ball is. So I have a deadline. It's like not one that I'm sort of making up in my own head. And I am going to try and get back into my routine. So maybe I'll do that instead of an actual, because my routine, I can't believe how short it's been. I don't think it's been, it hasn't been normal since before we picked up Logan for her Christmas break.
Yeah.
So like 6 weeks. I haven't been alone in 6 weeks. This is not normal for me.
Welcome to my life.
I don't like it. Your life has a lot of people in it. There's no alone time. I don't like it. So
Fair enough.
I like to have my routine back too.
Worst come to worst, I was the whole time you were explaining this, I kept thinking, what if you went and found like of course you wouldn't want to buy it new, that would be horrible. But if you could find like on Facebook, if you could find a wedding dress and dye that son of a bitch black.
I've tried that, and it depends on the material.
It depends on the material. I was going to say, if you need help or have questions about it, I can get you in touch with my friend Lauren, because I've asked her things about like dyeing nylon straps for Ghostbuster stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it is possible. It's just not. And it's, if you're going black, it would be a lot easier. She's like, if you're trying to go the other way, it ain't happening. Like that is not happening.
Yeah, so. No, because I have tried doing that, and I would get a like wedding dress from the Goodwill, from like
exactly, Goodwill, Facebook Marketplace, something like that. Yeah,
and then you can just rip the shit out of it and do whatever. So I actually might try that too, because there's a lot of taffeta and stuff, like under crinoline and things like that. So maybe I'll try looking for that. That's a really good idea. I didn't think about that.
So.
I'm probably going to dress like a hobbit.
And that's the thing. So I'm like, you should dress to match. You're supposed to go to a ball matching. This never happens. We've never had a couple's costume, because I always wind up going deep and dark, and then cute and whimsical.
Well, I don't.
But you're not deep and dark.
I'm not a Gomez.
You're not. You're not.
But you don't have to be the characters. You could just go in like a suit, dude.
No, that's not my style. Like,
no, it is
I
not
would feel like a mobster. I would feel like a mobster if I was trying to pull that off. Or I'd feel like my skin needs to sparkle. Like it's.
You would look like a vampire.
That's hilarious.
So we're not going to match. It'll be Morticia and Frodo.
That's right.
That's what's going to happen. A big Frodo. Samwise. You'll be like,
I'll be Samwise.
Morticia and Samwise.
You know,
well, what if you went as Morticia and one of the ring wraiths? How about that?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Okay, so hang on a minute, because I've always, the guys that walk on the stilts and they're like weird creatures and they kind of walk around.
Right. Yeah.
I've always wanted to do one of those.
I could show all with that. That'd be cool. I'm reading a book all about that right now.
I was thinking it's March. Maybe you could be like the leprechaun from the horror movies, But that's going the other direction.
The only way I'm doing that is if I'm Mike Myers version, like I'm the leprechaun.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. So I have how did I put it in here? Goth princess dress for ball back on schedule.
There you go.
I love that.
Awesome.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Ray, what do you want to work on?
Okay, well, other than finding a costume, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna wear.
You have 2 months.
I've got a couple months, so
2 months.
I'll have to figure out my own as well. And then on top of that, I need to get some drawings done. So if I don't do the drawing sessions, I need to at least get some drawings done.
Fair enough. Cy, anything in particular you want to put out there you want to try to work on? Gonna try to get back on the voice recording? Just gonna hang out with the cat?
I gotta finish the that book. I gotta do all the work on that. Hopefully by March I'll be done with that.
Nice.
It's just tough, finding the time when there's not a bunch of noise. It's hard to
Yep.
Because recording a book is so much different than just doing like YouTube stuff or whatever. Because you really have to. It's hard because you have to focus and you have to read things several times over, and then you have to have not absolute silence, but you have to have a lot more quiet. It's tough, but maybe by March, yeah.
Well, then you're also focused on the character that you are reading for, and
well, I'm not doing a character. I'm the narrator.
Right, but that's still a character. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I actually have to do all the characters.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't have to, but
no, but
there's no other way I can do it.
Yes, yeah, it keeps you going with it too. So
The guy that I'm doing this for is extremely cool about everything, though, and he's done a lot of this stuff. So he's like, whatever process you want to do that, and just send me whatever you have. He's like, don't even worry about it. If something happens where I think I need something different, we can talk about that if it happens, but it probably won't.
nice.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, I don't know.
Nice.
That's about it. I mean, I bought the cats. Here's the thing. Like, I just have the one cat now, and so I've been spoiling the absolute shit out of him. And I buy him stuff, and like I was thinking, like maybe I would build something for him or something, but no, this little motherfucker. Like I buy him stuff, and he don't even care about it. Like I bought him one of these big toys with the roller balls that you spin, like you hit it and it spins around and around. There's like 4 different levels of these balls that spin.
Yep.
He played with it once and he didn't want to touch it again because he was scared of it.
Yep.
Oh,
I was so mad. I was like, dude, he don't want to go near it. He just wants to lay down and get pets and like
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call them our first gen cats. The first 4 we had, didn't matter what you bought for them. None of them cared anything about it. They prefer to play with the bag or the box or whatever.
Yeah.
Our current crop of cats, they will play with stuff from time to time. But yeah, Christy and I have to keep like getting out of that gear because we'll see something cool and we're like, man, that's kind of cool. No, we don't need to buy it because they won't play with it. We're like, no, wait a minute. That was the old group. Like this group actually kind of does stuff from time to time. So
Ours do not. Very rarely do they. The only time that they'll play with anything is if you stuff it full of the catnip, and that's it.
okay.
And then
boxes and like paper sitting around are still the best things ever.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, why do they sit on paper? What the hell is that about?
It's box.
That's just a cat being a cat.
I don't know where it is. If it is a rogue piece of paper, they will sit on it, especially Minerva. I'm like, what the hell is that about? Why the piece of paper? It's so weird.
Have you done the thing I think we talked about on one of the shows one time where someone took like painter's tape and just did a box in the middle of the floor and
you try that
just walked away and like the cat went and like sat in the box just because it thought, oh, this is something they're working on. I need to be here.
We should try to do that. I wonder if either one of them
absolutely should.
That's interesting.
That would be
I guarantee mine would do it. Guarantee it. My question would be, would there be a line afterwards, like waiting to use the box?
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny you say that. Like, so one of the behaviors that's changed with Jon Snow since Moogle's gone is okay, so I would buy them toys. And I would buy like the little toys. Like my daughter gave the cats toys for my birthday. That's what I asked her. Nice. So there's all these little fishes and little stuffed things and little balls that make the noise and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And John took all of them and kept them. Like he put them all in a pile. And then I thought he liked them, but really what was going on was he was keeping them away from Moogle. Like he was. They were super competitive with each other. Like there's so many things that have changed. Like when I would lay down in bed, one of them would lay under one arm and the other would lay under the other arm, and they would both be facing each other. and now John, he's laying on me right now, and he's ass facing my face.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no competition now. So it's just amazing how things are different now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I honestly am still trying to get the budget under control, so I'm not really working on any projects. I'm just going to say I'm going to continue to refine the Raspberry Pi. There are some little things here and there I still want to do. Like I said, I want to get some new controllers for it. I'm really enjoying just going back and playing some of these older games with the boys from time to time. We had to leave the house Tuesday. It was we were out of school because it was supposed to snow, but it didn't. And the cleaning lady was coming, so we went over to Christy's aunt's house, and I took it over there, and I fired up Super Bomberman on, and I'd actually already shown Nicholas this, so him and I played a little bit the day before. And I took it over there, and I got it set up for 3 players, and then Alex joined us. We had a lot of fun doing that. So I'm gonna just say I'm gonna continue working on that, and then, like I said, I've got probably next week I'm gonna be soldering some Xbox controllers again. So,
Can I ask you something? It's
yes,
kind of
absolutely.
video game related thing. Kind of throw a little curveball here. April is the big Nintendo thing for their next Nintendo Switch 2 thing.
Right.
Have you thought about what y'all are gonna do? Like, are y'all getting the new one, or
Here's the thing: we're not really playing our Switch as is. I'm honestly I'm the only one that plays it from time to time, and I'm really not even playing it that much. I'm going to leave it as, here's the thing: the fact that it's backwards compatible. That was the best thing they could have done, was coming out right out front and saying, "Hey, it's backwards compatible." That was the best thing they could have done. If they come back and say, "Yeah, you can use all the old controllers as well," that's going to be yet another really big,
I don't think they're going to.
You don't think they are?
I think they'll work, but the Joy-Cons are not going to fit. It's
totally, oh no, I don't mean that, but I mean like the Pro controller. If the Pro controller will still work, yeah, that's another big, feather in their cap.
I'll tell you what, if those don't work, that's gonna upset people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of money people have invested in that type of stuff.
Yes, there is. As for getting one, like I said, it also depends on the price point. Like right now I'm hearing around 400. So 400, 450. That price, it's something I can't just go buy on a whim. But if like they announce, like, if it is 100% Mario Kart 9 and they announce, oh, hey, we've got the new version of this and this and this, and it's very quickly becomes a,
I got to tell you, dude, I'm very suspicious. I think with the backwards compatibility, I think we might want to prepare ourselves for this being more of a Switch Pro than a Switch 2. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
I just think, I mean, look how Nintendo handled the Switch. Like it launched with a whole bunch of games that were actually Wii U games. They just like upgraded them. I think the same thing's going to happen. I think
could be.
I think we need to prepare for that. There might be like three maybe like legit next gen games that come with it or come out with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think most of these devs are going to be like, yeah, we're just going to keep making Switch games, but we'll put like upgrades if you have the new hardware. Because, dude, there's like, how many Switches are in the market?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's where the devs they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna abandon the old Switch. If the new Switch is backwards compatible, I'm saying I just feel like they're gonna focus on the old Switch for a long time. I think it's just another one of these consoles that comes out that keeps getting games for the old console. I think that's what's gonna happen.
And it could. So like I said, it's one of those things that I'm interested, but even if they definitely say, even if there is a killer app for it, I'm like, oh, I've got to have that. It's still, I'm not in a place right now that I can just drop $400, on a whim. Like that's something I've got to really sit down and figure out. So
yeah, and I feel like every next gen Switch game is going to have a regular Switch version anyway.
Probably for a while, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't see any reason I'm going to jump into this. Like, I'm going to fight people for one of these. Like, no, I don't think so. I've got a Switch OLED. I never play it in handheld mode. I only play it in dock mode.
Oh yeah, like I always play mine in dock mode.
Right, and I'm like, I don't know. Most of the games I have on it are not like, I mean, it's a Switch, right? Like I'm not buying the latest, most badass like graphical powerhouse game on the Switch. So most of the games I have are like retro games and collections and like some Nintendo exclusive stuff. But dude, yeah, I kind of feel like I'm not excited anymore now that I mean, this is a weird thing, a weird dynamic. Like I hear this from a lot of people on YouTube. We were expecting it to be what it is, right? But we were kind of hoping that it was going to have some of that Nintendo razzle dazzle, some of that weird pizzazz that Nintendo likes to do. And it'd be like, yeah, it's a Switch, an upgraded Switch, but it's also this, you know. But,
Right.
But that's
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening. I think it's just
No, I think you're right. I don't remember. So Quinn would take the Switch and play it in tablet mode once in a while, but even then, if we could hook it up to their computer monitor, then that's the way that they.
Why would you not play on a bigger screen? Like,
so it's nice that, and the other thing too is with cloud gaming now as well. It would have been, I don't know. It's hard to say as to why. Like, I'm with you, Si. Switch 2, the only way I'd be buying a Switch 2 is if I had young kids and we didn't have a Switch at all and they wanted to play Nintendo games. So,
yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Well,
So
we're pretty kitted out with technology. Like we have a PlayStation 5 and Xbox. We've got a PC upstairs. There's bought our Switch, so you bought it from us.
Bought the Switch.
So it's upstairs too, and like phone. This guy's phone with a whole bunch of games on it and stuff too.
That's it. And then with the Raspberry Pis and all the stuff for all the other like.
Yeah.
See, my big thing is like I'm more so into the retro stuff. Like, there might be some newer games coming out that I might be like, but hell, I've got Mario Wonder. I'm nowhere close to beating it. Like, I'd almost rather go back and play Mario 3 again. Like, it's weird. I'm just in this weird space right now. I'd rather go back and play older games. So, but anyway, all right. Well, so like I said, so next month we're going to be doing an interview with my sister-in-law, Amber Palmer, who's an author. And then after that, we'll come back and we'll check in and see how things have been going with us. So that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. If you would please leave us some feedback, give us a good rating on wherever it is you listen to the show. You can watch us on YouTube. The videos are posted a few days later. And then, of course, you can check out our website, epicallygeeky.com. You can follow us on social media, on Facebook and Instagram. I have cut back because no one was anywhere else. It's like, what's the point? So but seriously, if you want to reach out to us, if you do want to say something, and let us know how we're doing. If you got a recommendation for someone we should interview or something, you just want to say something about the show, email us at epicallygeekysite@gmail.com. Where can we find you online, Ray?
I was going to say, what about TikTok, Eugene? TikTok.
Nope.
The Reluctant Yeti on Instagram, and I'm still checking out Blue Sky. I'm not sure about it just yet, but it's out there.
Fair enough. Kris?
I can only manage one social media site, so it's just Instagram, Moody Midlife.
Cyrus, can we find you online anywhere?
No, not Rumble anymore. We're done with Rumble. I'm back to YouTube exclusively, Super Mega Graphics 64, and that's it. That's all I'm doing.
Good deal. And as always, you can find my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene on Facebook and Instagram. For everyone on the site, have a good night.